Next on Worcester News tonight, Worcester to New York. More on this week's first JetBlue flight taking off from Worcester Regional Airport. Plus, April showers bring May flowers. A look at how Tower Hill Botanic Garden is gearing up for their Daffodil show. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Brittany Schaefer. A first-of-its-kind program in the Bay State holding a graduation in the city. The Worcester Police Department and Worcester County District Attorney's Office teaming together to give people a chance at recovery. Our Chandler Walsh was at today's graduation. She joins us live now with more. Chandler.
Brittany, the program's director says it officially started running in February thanks to a $99,000 grant from the state. Now its first round of graduates have gone through it successfully. Jorge Guzman graduates from the Biodiversion Treatment Alternative Program. Guzman says it's been a blessing in his path to recovery after years of using crack and heroin.
I had been toying with, I gotta stop this, because like I said, it had been 6 long straight years of using.
Guzman is one of 4 in the pilot program's first graduating class. The partnership includes the Worcester Police Department and the District Attorney's Office. It's the first of its kind in Massachusetts thanks to a state grant.
This EOPS grant allows us to grab people at a time, when the disease is at its worst, and we can put them right into treatment.
The program works with people in possession of opiates or who attempt to buy them. They're offered treatment instead of criminal charges or jail time. It takes place at Spectrum Health Center's Everyday Miracles Peer Recovery Center.
Monitor their recovery, set up meetings for them, or if they want to get on medicated assisted treatment, set that up. Doctor's appointment. If they need housing, we'll help them find housing.
Michael E. Rello is the diversion program's case manager. He says the community backing with police and the DA's office makes all the difference.
These are 4 individuals that could have been dead because of their addiction, or they could have been in the court system, tying up time, money, or they could have been in prison.
Guzman says he feels great. He says his counselors offered support and were always there to listen.
Giving me a chance to get back on my feet. I could not get a day clean until I came here.
Guzman says he's now spending lots of time with his 5 children and grandchildren, who he says are happy about his success. Brittany?
What a great program. Thanks, Chandler. 10 people are displaced after a fire tears through a 3-decker on John Street Thursday night. Worcester firefighters arrived just after 6 p.m. The fire was contained to the back porches and attic. The damage to the apartment could only be seen from the back. Worcester Fire says 6 adults and 4 children were displaced. The cause of the fire is still under investigation. JetBlue launches its first flight from Worcester Regional Airport to JFK in New York City on Thursday. The jet was about half full for the inaugural flight. Our Rosalind Flaherty traveled to the Big Apple and has reaction from fellow passengers.
Up bright and early, passengers came to Worcester Regional Airport Thursday to be on the first ever JetBlue flight to JFK International Airport in New York City.
This is great for Worcester and it's great for the airport. Hopefully more airlines will take notice of this.
I'm from Quincy, but this was more affordable, so we took it, and I don't understand what took so long. It's such a good idea.
Massport says JFK opens up Worcester to the world, and WPI freshman Achu Bala Subramanian is a good example. He was flying home for the summer to Thailand.
It saved me money flying JFK to Hong Kong, so from Worcester JFK to Hong Kong was actually cheaper than Logan to Hong Kong.
Achu was expecting major airport traffic, but once inside, he realized he got there a little early.
I got here like 3:30, and I got here before the employees, so I'll keep that in mind for next time.
Others decided to take advantage of the flight to explore the Big Apple. Joel and Sandy Richards are staying until Friday night and plan on seeing some Broadway shows. They wanted to make sure they were on the first flight.
We go to New York all the time, out of Boston. This is just so much closer, our backyard.
JetBlue says the plane was half full. It received a water salute as it took off at 6 a.m. In flight, Massport's chairman of the board, Lou Evangelitis, says this is a big step for Worcester.
There's so much to do, so your options are limitless.
The flight was smooth and quick, getting to JFK in just 28 minutes.
I can't think it much better than that.
Rosalind Flaherty, Worcester News Tonight.
In Rosalind Flaherty and Olivia Lemon spent the day in New York City Thursday. Coming up at 10, we'll have what they were able to do during the layover. Around 1/3 of Worcester's water systems date back to the 20th century and will need to be replaced. The Department of Public Works has a long-term integrated water plan to improve services without seeing spikes in water and sewer rates. Commissioner Paul Moosey says it will keep the city's water quality high, decrease water main breaks, help the environment, and allow for growth in the city.
It's the right thing to do. It's don't stick your head in the sand kind of thing until there's major problems and we have pending emergencies constantly. This is to try to get ahead of that type of a situation.
DPW will hold a public meeting in 2 weeks for home and business owners to learn more about the plan. Friday kicked off the 61st annual Worcester Public Schools Art Festival. Dozens of pieces of art from paintings to metal engravings are on display at the entrance of the public library. Grades 1st through 12th are all represented, and Friday select seniors were awarded for their creative efforts.
It's awesome. It's a good feeling. I love just the feeling that someone's looking at it. You know, it's always good to be appreciated.
I think this is a really good example of how the Worcester community supports the arts, in that for 61 years we've been showcasing student artwork, and if you look through the library in the month of May, you're going to see lots of people, lots of different kinds of people, lots of different ages, from lots of different places, appreciating the art that is produced by our students.
The gallery will be up throughout May. Worcester schools will also be holding various artistic events throughout the month. Warmer temperatures have led to flowers blooming across central Massachusetts. It's a sure sign winter is behind us, and for Tower Hill Botanic Garden, it's a big reason for celebration. Our Anna Botari got a sneak peek of Tower Hill's daffodil field ahead of their weekend event.
There are more than 25,000 daffodils in this field just behind me at Tower Hill Botanic Garden. They're expecting thousands to come out this weekend for their annual daffodil show.
Yellow daffodils in full bloom, scattered across the grounds of Tower Hill Botanic Garden. It's a welcomed sight to visitors.
We weren't expecting quite so much color, given how cold it's been up until the last couple of days, but it's gorgeous here. There are so many flowers, tulips, daffodils, everything.
Visitors Friday use the field as an educational opportunity, a family fun day, as well as a picture-perfect moment. Public Relations Manager Rob Burgess says this field is 2 decades in the making.
They were planted starting about 20 years ago by volunteers and staff members, horticulture team, gardeners. They came out and they saw this beautiful, picturesque scene here, and there's a nice rolling hill down to the woodlands. And they decided it would be a great place to plant a whole bunch of daffodils.
They're always adding.
Joe Christo has been a member of Tower Hill since it moved to its location in Boylston and has been able to see its transformation. For him, the daffodil bloom is a sure sign of spring.
After a long winter, it's been terrible. This is inspiring. I'm a gardener myself, so I just needed a little inspiration to get out there and work in the yard.
The Daffodil Show will run through this weekend, and as for this daffodil field behind me, it'll be in full bloom for at least the next week or two. In Boylston, I'm Anna Botari, Worcester News Tonight.
What a beautiful sight after this past winter. Thank you, Anna. And it's a special day for Star Wars fans who can be heard saying, "May the 4th be with you." It's a pun to the famous movie quote, "May the Force be with you." That's Entertainment in Worcester celebrating with 20% off all things Star Wars, from posters to action figures. The store on Park Ave says with recent movie releases, the unofficial Star Wars Day has been gaining fame, and some in the store say they're big fans.
The characters, and it's at times really quirky and funny and times cheesy, but that's what makes it great, you know, and I think every geek can relate to Star Wars. There's a little bit of everything in there, you know, so action, adventure, you get your grifters, you get your honorable like heroes, and kids will come in dressed in their Star Wars costumes. We have little troopers coming in. It's great.
That's Entertainment is also holding their annual free comic book day Saturday. They are expecting a line out the door before they even open at 10 a.m.